Hello, my little goblins. We got something special for you today, and this time I am going to become an actor. I'm following my dreams, and we're going to be playing Abyss actors. That's pretty much what we're doing. Let's look at what we got here. We got a pretty standard package. The only thing that's odd is the Nibiru, but the Nibiru is there for a reason. Two reasons. First, catches people off guard. Second reason, we can steal the token with a base act comic relief in OTK, or put it that way. So it's kind of funny. That all being said, and people are just not expecting the Nibiru, to be honest, in this format. This deck is a little confusing to play at first, I would say. A lot of cards lock you in, like Mellow Madonna locks you in, like where you can't even play your extra deck. The extra deck Abyss monsters lock you into Abyss extra deck monsters only. Some of these cards only lock you into when you pendulum summon. You can only pendulum summon Abyss actor cards. The field spell, which is pretty much our bread and butter, this card is a little strange too, because you have to have a pendulum summoned Abyss actor pendulum monster for this card to work, which is really annoying. I kind of just wish it just worked on its own, but it is what it is. We're going to make the best of it. I think the deck looks pretty good. It's got new support. The new support is in Dress Rehearsal, which is a crazy card. It's legitimately a searchable Pot of Greed, because this is a 2-for-1. You pretty much add a Abyss actor card to your hand and an Abyss script to your hand. So it's like a better Pot of Greed, because you're not just adding 2 cards, you're just getting exactly what you want out of the deck. So it's pretty crazy. We're going to go over combos, so you guys do not have to worry about that. But yeah, the deck has a lot of OTK potential. That's all I hear. Every time I talk to someone, they're like, yeah, the Abyss actors, OTK potential, it's really there. This deck can do more than just OTKing. You can set up a pretty crazy board, and we're gonna go ahead and do that, and let's see what we can actually muster up here. All right, let's get into the combo guide, and then we'll get into some games. Okay, so there's 2 different combos you guys need to know. The first one we're going to show you right here is a 1-card combo. I'm not going to use any other card in my hand besides what the 1 card creates. So let's just start that one. The other one is our crazy combo, which is our best play that we can do. Right? So this is the first thing. You're going to activate extras, which tributes itself, and it puts Current Razor into the thing. Remember, Current Razor can only be used once per duel from the special summon. We're going to send our opening to the graveyard, and this is going to grab our extras. By the way, this effect of Current Razor is not a hard once per turn. We're going to go into Hyper Director now. And with Hyper Director, we're going to again set the extras, or play the extras there. We're going to grab the extras, play it there, and then we are going to grab the Wild Hog, play it there. And now we go into our Super Director. Boom. We're going to activate Super Director as a fact. We're going to pop the Wild Hog, and we are going to place Madonna there. And then Wild Hog is going to... Wild Hope. I don't keep calling him Hog. I don't know why. This card is going to allow us to add a card to our hand. We're going to add Superstar. Okay. Because now we're going to use Mellow's effect to add our comic relief. Because I'm pretending these cards don't exist. That's the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay. So now we are actually going to Pendulum Summon. We are going to summon Bam Bam. And only 1, because these cards don't exist. You could play these in defense, probably. Superstar, boom. Alright, so we have 3 cards in the field. Now we can technically use Current Razor again. So let's activate that again. And let us send... honestly, you can send either Fantasy Magic or Dramatic. I'll just send Dramatic. Add this back to hand. And then Superstar is going to activate as well, which is going to play this from the deck. So Superstar's card that he plays from the deck does go to the graveyard end step. But we're going to be able to activate this. And now we can activate this once. Tribute. Which lets us set this. And technically, you can activate it once more. But I will say this. If pretend like we had 0 cards, because we just pretty much played everything we had. We should have 0 cards in hand. I would rather have opening set by itself, right? Because we're on our opponent's turn. I'll show you what we're gonna do. But in this case, I'm just gonna activate this again. Yeah, I'm just gonna activate this again because it's really not necessary to have both of them. So we're gonna just grab that, place it there, and there we go. We got a pass. So remember this, we have to have 1 Pendulum Summon monster on the field for this to work. So now this card goes to the graveyard. We have 5 cards in hand, so it's kind of redundant. So this person's activating Golden Hair's effect. Very good effect, right? I can activate this. I'm just gonna wait. Actually, I'll just activate it. It doesn't really matter. Activate. Alright, so now I'm just going to activate the Abyss Actor's effect. So we're going to pop one of these cards. Technically, if I had 2 Pendulum monsters here, I would have popped Wild Hog. But remember, they have to be Pendulum summoned. So I'm going to pop this. It's fine. He's going to Cyclone. This is okay, whatever. So now we put Theater here. This forces him to pop the back row. And if I had no cards in hand, I would have just drawn 5. Because what this card does is you can draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. So if my hand was empty like it should be, I should be able to draw 5 cards. Right? Kind of crazy. So that's the first combo. Let's get to the second combo. Hello, we're here with the second combo. And this is the full combo, which lets you get to the crazy end board. With the negates and all that stuff. So we're gonna have to have Dress Rehearsal and either Wild Hope or Curtain Raiser, because pretty much you're gonna be searching for the second one. So here we go, Curtain Raiser, and you always grab Dramatic. So you play 3 of them. And we Curtain Raiser, special summons. And then you are going to normal summon that, and you're going to activate Dramatic. This is the first thing you're going to be doing, and the first thing you go into is Superstar, or my thick-hipped bitch. That gets popped. With this card, you're going to be adding Mellow, and then you activate Curtain. This is where you send your Hope to grab this back. Then you activate Superstar, which you can set this. And then you're first going to go into our beautiful Electromite. Surprise! Electromite is going to grab your Astrograph. So this is where you start playing those other cards that you might not see in other lists, like the Astrograph and the Chronograph. So you pop the Madonna, grab the Sorcerer. This is going to activate both cards. Now, we have to go into Beyond the Pendulum, but there is a way we don't go into Beyond the Pendulum, which is if we top deck Chronograph off this draw, which we do not. So Chronograph is the last piece to really extend the board and do some crazy stuff with it. You can get a pretty good end board with the Electromite though, just by itself. So now you see all these cards in my hand. It's looking kind of ridiculous. There we go. We are going to Pendulum Summon. Yeah. Here comes Superstar. Bam. Bam. Okay. So, first things first, we are going to go into... Oh, wait. No. First things first, we're going to activate this spell, which is going to activate Mellow, which is going to summon a Curtain Raiser onto the field. We actually can use Curtain Raiser to technically send another card to the graveyard. to add a current raiser to our hand. Just get most value possible. And now we are going to go into our Vortex Dragon by going into overlaying the things here. And then, it's very important, you're going to use Chronograph's effect. It's going to pop and it's going to special summon Time Gazer. So make sure you hit yes on that. And boom goes the dynamite. We have we actually have 3 monster negates now. And once we add our fusion card will add a Omni negate, right? So we're already looking pretty steezed, right? We added this curtain raiser, right? So there's 2 things you could do here, right? I think this play is way more interesting and way more fun to do, but you could technically overlay into Wave King Caesar, and that would let you go into Divisor King, right? So you technically could do that, or we could do the more Chad play, which is to use the current raiser that we summoned, and you go into Hyper Director, activate Hyper Director's effect, special summon Melodama, and then from there we can put a Wild Hope, sorry. And then we can go boom, boom. Here's Super Producer. And from here, it's actually kind of interesting. Because remember, we need to keep Wild Hope alive. We need to keep at least one of these alive. So we can technically activate this to pop one of these cards. I would say, like, we could set up the field spell early. But I think it's better to just... Like, we have enough material on board. We really, since we have technically enough cards in hand, we technically could set this called by, and I think we do. Like, I think in a regular normal game, probably set called by. You would activate this, you tribute the Sassy, and you would end up setting opening here. And the nice thing too, if your opponent has hand traps at this point, you could also just negate it now from this. But yeah, and then you might want to just play Curtain Raiser too in the thing, just so you have more cards to draw. But yeah, then you just end your turn. Again, let's look at what we got here. We got 3 monster negates, an Omni negate, another monster negate. Here, technically, I think this is the coolest play to do. Is we're gonna do this because I want you guys to see how this negate works. It's kind of fun. I mean, you guys already seen it kind of technically, but it's very fun to do to opponents. So we don't even have to waste our negates yet. We pop, we play the field spell. This card gets banished. And on top of that, Golden Hair is going to activate and pop this card, which the way you chain link is you want to chain link this as 1, then chain link this as 2, and this is going to add 4 cards to our hand. And we still have Ash and Nibiru. Draw 3, and then we get to search for 1, which we don't have Dress Rehearsal, so we would grab Dress Rehearsal, which is a crazy opening hand again. And then obviously you just negate. Just showing off our negates at this point. We can put one of these back, I guess. And our opponent's just better than us. He had the double Dark Core. I didn't prepare for that against the Pirates, but that is how you do the second combo. Pretty much, it's pretty much you can do it off of 2 cards because technically. I think we got a little greedy with some of the things we did, but you could just do it off of 2 cards. And playing this before, like on your turn, like if worst case scenario, like pretend I didn't have some extra monsters here, right? And I only had Super Producer and 1 Pendulum Summon monster with the negates and stuff. You would have just activated this card. You would have activated Super Producer. You would have popped a card on the field. You would have played the field spell, and then you would have used the Abyss script, assignment to tribute the super producer and leave this on the field because you need this on the field. So, and that still would have gave you the monster negate, and it would still set up the draw 3. So, but doing the way I did was a little greedier, but it's the end result's pretty delicious, isn't it? And again, also you could have technically gone into the Deus Machina, whatever, the DDD card, this card right here, Divisor King. So, yeah, it's pretty good. So let's get into some real games. You guys can see how this actually performs in actual matches. Hello, we're here against game number 1 against Rhapsody, and our opening hand is atrocious. You like the usage rates? 0.006. I'm telling you, no one knows what these cards do. So, which is a good thing for you. Very good thing. So, add. We're going to go into Super Producer. Pop. At least we had the Wild Hope, which we searched, so it's not really a lucky thing. So we're going to add this. So if you know you're not going to be able to do anything else, right, you activate Mellow's effect beforehand because this card locks you into even special summoning like Abyss monsters from the extra deck. So use this before you pen summon if you're doing this play because it just gives you an extra card. So we special summon. I use this to pitch the Hope. Grab that. We have the assignment. We're going to use assignment to pitch that, and we get our Hope. And then I set the call by, and our hand's looking actually pretty good. Like we're going to have a good chance of drawing at least 3, bare minimum. He activates Super Poly, which is super bad for us. Right? So actually pretty horrific for us. So we're actually not going to be able to do anything. Did we just lose? The good thing is our opponent, on top of the Super Poly, didn't have anything else, like no branded fusion or anything. Otherwise, we probably just lose. Well, I mean, we had the Ash. So we could have Ash, because branded loss doesn't protect from Ash. Which is really aids, by the way. When I was playing branded, and every time I fuse with Lost Out, and Ash still stops it, it's annoying. So we activate Mellow Actor, and he's going to Ash me. I'm going to call by the Ash because I do need the search. Boom. So, there comes Melvadonna. Add my Superstar. Bam, bam, bam. Here's my Superstar. And then we're going to trade. So, since I trade the Fat Comic, right? The comic is activates his ability, which destroys a set card, Abyss script set card over here. So I'm actually going to be able to draw 4 off of this, which is pretty lit. I draw the field spell. I activate my card now, which is Rise. I can use this to blow up his entire board. Bye bye. Normal summon, and he's dead. And that's Abyss Actors in a nutshell. And these games are taking place in a climb during in Diamond. So we're climbing in Diamond with this. We start at D5. Alrighty, we're here with game number 2, and we're playing against Guerrero. And he's playing Black Wings. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know if Guerrero has like a sixth sense about things, but he has like, I'm going to tell you right now, these are some of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. But he did not open the Blackwing, but like, I don't know, this is kind of bizarre. Like, his plays were really bizarre here. And he sets 2. He does play around my Nibiru though. I can't actually Nibiru him because he only did 4 summons. So it's pretty funny. I play the field spell. He plays Max C. I'm going to have to Ash this. It's like, cool. My hand is so bad, I'm pretty sure I'm just going to have to activate Mellow to just add a card to hand. So I'm locked out of the extra deck completely. Now I'm going to do this, dramatic. Here comes Superstar. I pop the Wild Hope. Add my Comic Relief. And here he's going to go for the Twin Shadows. This is a really odd play too, but I get why he does it. Because now this card sends the Shargna, but this is why I rushed into Pendulum Summoning, so now if he uses it, it actually, Abyss Playhouse negates it. So I'm going to blow up his entire board. So you can't use it anyway. And I just want to point out, this would be lethal. This 100% would be lethal. He'd be dead right now, but Imperm saves his life, because Imperm is going to lower this card's attack. And on top of lowering the attack, I don't get the special summon, so we're gonna set opening. I don't know why I set opening here. I think I just wanted to put it in the graveyard, to be honest. Yeah, 1500. So he plays Whirlwind, goes into this, which lets him special summon this back out. And then he's going to go for a pop. We negate it. But then he bounces for Zephyros. He's going to be able to go to another one. And you might be saying, Fatsoid, you're about to get your ass plowed in. But you forgot about the big rock in the sky. I actually could Nibiru him, but I chose not to. And then he does this. I wait for him because I know he was going into a third one. He probably is laughing. He's like, yeah, I got him. The big rock. It's a rock. A great, big, beautiful rock. And now Comic Relief is going to make this a funny situation. Swap, take, get hit by the other rock. Boom. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, you little rat. You little weasel. So yeah, his beginning board wasn't great, but our opening hand was just as bad as his. Like, our opening hand was atrocious. And we still almost OTK'd him with our backhand being that bad. And on top of that, we stopped everything he did on his turn. So pretty cool. All right, we're here with game number 3. And I'm going to tell you this right now. Our hand is looking scrumptious. Remember I told you the perfect rule of things, which is the Curtain Raiser or Wild Hope with the Dress Rehearsal. And we're going to do that exact combo here. We're going to fast forward because you guys, if you guys watch the combo guide, you know exactly what's happening here. Boom. Pop goes the Weasel. Electromite. Add the big dog. Big dog pop. Our opponent's probably like, wait, Abyss Actor doesn't do this, does it? It's like, I've never seen Abyss Actor do this before. This is bizarre. Abyss Actor is supposed to just like go second, bro. And do nothing else. There's no way Abyss Actor can do this. Apollosa. What? Vortex. What? Hyper Director. What? Super Producer. What? So I have Max C, Ash Blossom, Nibiru in hand. Seems like I can't lose, can it? He even leaves me? I'm like scared shitless because I'm thinking this man's got double Nibiru and I'm about to just cry. Right? He doesn't. And then he's playing Math Mech. And I'm like, okay, well, you're about to learn what a super producer will do. He's the best producer. He call buys my Maxi, which I literally don't care because I'm about to draw 5 anyway. So like, how much more? I'm going to draw more off of this than I am him summoning monsters, guaranteed. So there's my Playhouse. Pop. And since I popped that card, I get to remember Chain Link correctly. Draw. So another thing too, if you think they have Maxi, you should chain it the other way. Actually, you know what? No, keep the chain this regardless, because like 3 or 4 random cards is, I don't think, is better than Dress Rehearsal, because Dress Rehearsal gives you exactly what you want. I don't know. If you really think so, it depends. If you're gonna draw 5 is definitely better than Dress Rehearsal. But if you're gonna draw like 3 cards, Dress Rehearsal is better than 3 cards. In my opinion, 3 random cards is better than it. And we still had Ash, and we still had 3 negates here, so GG, goodbye. Hello, we're playing game number 4 against Jotaro Kujo, or Kujo Jotaro. This guy's throwing it off, throwing me up, dude. our hand is horrific, so look at the stuff we have to do to make by. And we get Havness. We actually let Havness go through because I was just Ash. I was just like kind of like sick of it, to be completely honest. So I ashed the Soliac, so I'm like, okay, well that's a good card to ash. It's either we're ashing that or Rhino Heart. I'm not gonna ash Havness. I mean, I just have to hope he doesn't get lucky. Real fun card, isn't it? If the hope your opponent doesn't get lucky or you just lose. Alright, that's gonna add our dress rehearsal for next game, next turn. And now I'm going to special summon every card. And I thought this was hilarious. I took his Havness and I was like, thank you. Thank you, friend. So now he's going to have to fight to get it back. So the card I have set, because I wasn't able, like, this is like one of the worst combos I could possibly do. The card I have set is this, which if this is popped, I get to add 2 Abyss Actor cards to my hand. So I think it's pretty good. So he activates Lebellion. I'm just going to activate Super Producer now. Remember, I can't pop Wild Hope. Sadly. We had Dramatic Story and extras. Because I have Dress Rehearsal in my hand, so it's like... my hand's kind of crazy right now. So he goes into Reinbrum. Our opponent's going to be comboing for like 30 hours. Like, this deck is so crazy, dude. Like the tier limit, branded, it's so crazy with the Bestials. He bounces the Havness back to his hand. Kills my cards. Which actually, I kind of like that he killed this because I get to add another card to my hand. Then he plays Scream. So, I activate Dress Up. We're gonna add Comic Relief. There's a reason I add. So I add Comic Relief because I know extras I can special summon it to the field. And pretty much what I'm looking to do here is I want to swap for his Rinbrum, because if I'm able to take his Rinbrum, then but the thing is he already has cards on the field that counter it. So he can just activate Cortus, negate Cortus, and then bounce my card, whatever I'm trying to trade with him, which is really annoying. So, yep, he's going to activate Cartesia to dodge. This is also another thing that's, like, super annoying, because Cartesia, like, okay, you're going to see what I'm saying. He adds Bring It In. Rinbrum can banish a Fallen of Albaz from the graveyard to just special summon itself, which is super annoying. And then he activates Havness. I don't get to play the game, by the way. I don't get to play the game. The game's not for me. It's for someone else. I'm just gonna fast forward through it. He's doing like 1,000 effects, and I have no interaction for him. So he goes into Kit Kalios. Boom, boom. He's gonna special summon Rhino Heart, and then when Rhino Heart's sending, since I know he's gonna summon Rukelios, I have to Nibiru. Because his Nibiru at least wipes his board and Rukelios and stuff. He ends up doing the combo, which bounces, which is completely fine. I don't know why he would bounce this back to my hand, to be honest, since I can pendulum summon it. Yay, isn't this fun? Like, this is my turn, by the way. This is my turn. My turn, by the way. Alright, so we pendulum summoned a bunch of cards. Then we're activating Superstar's effect to add Rise back to hand. So we activate Rise, we pop 2 of his cards, because we only have 2 different names on the board. But so the beautiful thing is he activates Rukelios, but we already pen summoned, so now this card is going to steal the effect. Thank you. You go into height, so I make a massive misplay here. So I 100%, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I activate this to bring out Superstar, correct? I activate this to set the Abyss card. Because you guys don't know this, but Abyss script is not once per turn. You can activate this card over and over and over, which is crazy. So you can just keep recycling it with Abyssal thing. So the thing that's really annoying though, is I'm stupid, is I don't do calculations correctly. And I see, this is a mistake right here. So I needed to tribute this card. So this card only has 300 attack. It's his turn. If I tributed this card, I would have been completely fine. But now I activate Rise. I pop everything. Boom. Berkelios comes back again because you know the card's fun. Activate. I tribute this. Again, I fuck up again. I should have just tributed this. I don't know why. I do what I do. For some reason, I thought I wasn't gonna have enough names. For some reason, I didn't think I had 2 names. Add Wild Hope. Wild Hope, activate his ability. I was 200 points off damage. 200 points. 200 points. Isn't that super annoying? My opponent has played so much in my turn. My opponent's played this game like 10 times longer than I have. So this is another win con you could have. You've seen my failed OTK, which I should have hit if I just tributed the right monster. And then I pass it. He has his end step to do. He has triggers to do. Send. And he loses because it's the time limit loss. Because he decided to take 3 hours doing his turns. It's not even 3 hours doing his turn. He just had so many triggers activating on my turn. He just lost due to time limit. Which is hilarious. You love to see Big Meat Mike 1. So let's go to the next one. Alrighty, for this last one, I think this last one's really important because we have full combo, like you see, dress, boom, and we have call by and Ash. Like, you can't get better than that, right? But we run into a little bit of a hiccup. You guys can't see it, but I do my Current Razor. Once I summon Current Razor, I see that he has a negate. So for me, I'm trying to make him activate the negate. If I go into Electromite and he has Imperm, I lose, right? But if he has Effect Failure, I'm fine. I wouldn't know that though. It's impossible to know that. I think Imperm's played a lot more than Effect Failure personally, but I still do my combos. I go into this. Like I said, I'm just trying to bait him out. These cards have 0.006% usage. Nobody knows what they do. We add Wild Hope to the hand. Then we set this. Boom. So I go into Hyper Director because, like I said, they don't know what the cards do. If they imperm this, I do not care. So I play this. I'm going to activate this to add this. And he is playing Effect Failure. It's not imperm. So I could have just full comboed and been fine. This, I'm actually going to let the Hyper Director get negated so it does not lock me into Pendulums. I mean, it doesn't lock me into Abyss Actors only. So I let it happen even though I could have stopped it. Now that I know we're at free reign here, we're going to go beyond Pendulum. We're just going to add our Chronograph. And we're going to go start bussing, dude. Could have gone into Electromite too, but I thought we were completely fine here. Pop. There we go. 3 negates, 4 negates, 5, and we got Deuce Machia. Bye-bye. Have fun. And if you guys are wondering why we did Deuce Machine, is because we used our Hyper Director already, so there's no easy way for me to go into Super Director. So for me personally, I think the negate from this would have been better because remember, I have to have a Pendulum Summon monster on the field, and it just wasn't possible without the Hyper Director. So we just went into this, which is still fine because it's an extra interruption. So GG, let's get to the recap and talk about how the deck did. Hello, welcome to the recap. If you guys enjoyed watching this content, please consider giving me a like and a subscribe to the channel. You're not gonna hate it. Also, join our Discord. The link is down below. Shit's fire, as the kids would say. And it's straight bussin'. But yeah, let's talk about how the deck performed. The deck actually performed pretty well. We climbed from D5 to D3, almost D2, like pretty easily. It wasn't that too tough. some of the reasons I lost some games were my own fault. Some were just like my opponent went first and they had the nuts and I didn't have a great hand. But I'm gonna say this deck is pretty explosive. Going second, this deck feels nuts. Now, would we edit anything in the deck? I actually think a card that could be edited in the deck. Like, this card's probably one of the worst cards in our deck. Like, the secondary effect's good. You know what I mean? You can target opponent, card opponent shows place on top deck. Really good effect. But I think the effect, the main reason we run this is because it's our out to Boral End Dragon, and it is our out to Mech Knight Crusadia, because you can just run your monster into it and it bounces it at the end of the damage step. They can't react. There's no reaction to it. So this is our out to that card. So yeah, that's a main reason we have to run it. But I do think having this card at 2 might be ideal. And the reasoning behind it is because if you have Superstar on the battlefield, this card is not once per turn, like the set Abyss script. So this card could OTK super easy if you get like 1 or 2 of these out. Because like, let's think about it. We get when we do our perfect combo, we get one out early, which lets us set this. But if we're able to get 2 of these out on the field, if you just set double rise, you can just, even if you're dealing with tier limit, like a tier limit board like we've seen there, you could just pop everything twice in a row. Either way, I don't know if it's 100% necessary. If we were going to cut this, if we were going to do this, we would have to find a cut somewhere else. I'm not 100% sure where we would cut. I would probably say we want to keep the hand traps at 3. And dramatic, and the thing that sucks is dramatic story. I know we searched this off of dress rehearsal anyway, but it does give you another chance of opening our combo, because if you open Wild Heart, Curtain Razor, and Dramatic Story, boom, the 3-card combo. This card, you can do it without dress rehearsal. It's obviously just easier with dress rehearsal because you just need to open dress rehearsal with one of these two, and you have full combo. That being said, another card that's like super impressive was Extras, because this card lets you can special summon it if your opponent has a monster. So like this card can become super relevant when your opponent has like Havness and stuff like that. So they Havness you, pretend they don't really, like, if they don't hit anything too crazy, now at least you have like you can Extras them. And also another thing that's funny too is with our comic relief, if our opponent goes into like something like Kit Kalios or something, we can like just steal their Kit Kalios, which I think is also hilarious. I mean, they'll probably end up getting it back, but it is pretty funny that you can steal their Kit Kalios with comic relief. But yeah, I think the ratios other than that are like pretty damn good. Another thing you can argue about is like take out Nibiru's. I found the Nibiru's actually pretty fun to play with, because they work really well with comic relief, because you get those massive tokens. And another thing too is if you're playing against any deck that isn't like tier or sprite, like people are not playing around this card whatsoever, and it really shows, because like every time I played this card it was like a complete blowout. It was pretty disgusting actually. Like there were some games where there's some games that obviously I didn't show, but like where my opponent like just was full comboing, not paying attention. It's like boom, Nibiru, everything's gone, bye. I had some sprite players. I played against some sprite decks who were going into their combo, but they went into sprint first so they can send because they're greedy, you know. They know that people aren't playing Nibiru, so they're like, I'm gonna go into sprite sprint, right? I'm gonna use that to send Nimble Angler to the graveyard, then combo, get to like 6 summons before I even go into Gigantic, and then you just nib the Gigantic before he activates it, and it's like GG, bye. Or you nib before he gets read out at least. It's really funny, because like people are just not playing around the card anymore, which is understandable. It's not a very high play rate card now. But yeah, other than that, I really like the deck. I've seen some people not playing opening. Honestly, since you have Max C, it's probably not like 100% necessary to play opening, because you can probably just get draw. Like if you have Max C, you just Max C. But I don't know. Like it feels good to have an opening when your opponent call buys your Maxi or ashes it, and then it's like, oh well, I'm gonna draw 4 cards anyway. I'm gonna draw 3 cards anyway, plus a search, for like Wild Hope search for dress rehearsal. It's pretty disgusting. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do I rate the deck? I think the deck obviously is still a bit gimmicky, and the turn 1 combo isn't like super consistent compared to other decks, because like I said, you need at least 2 very specific cards or 3 cards, which other decks just need like 1 card combos. You know what I mean? Like, think about tier limit. Tier limit, you just play Rhino Heart. Boom, you can just do whatever you want now. So on that cases, I'm gonna put a solid like 7.5, maybe 8, and I'd probably say it's probably closer to 8, to be honest. No, 7.5, 7. There's a lot of strong decks out right now. Like the Dragon Link deck, the Chaos deck. Those are really powerful right now. The good thing is this deck doesn't get hit that hard by Bestials, because all you're playing Pendulums. So like the only thing they're banishing is like your Link monsters. So yeah, on a tier list, I'm gonna say this is a good, like a decent. I'd probably say it's a good rogue tier deck. Like, it's actually a threat now. Before these cards got added, this deck was a joke, complete joke. There's no point in playing it. Now that these cards are added, this deck is actually kind of lethal. So, I don't know. I think the deck's pretty good. So, if you guys are interested in playing this deck, let me know. But if you guys have any more questions about the deck, you could either type in the comments or join the Discord, and you could ask me. If I take a little bit to answer, it's because usually I'm doing other stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy the video and enjoy the rest of your day. And let me know what you want to see next. All right. Goodbye.